Guys, Pinocchio shouldn't have a gun. It's not right. They really made some bold, creative decisions, and I'm not the biggest fan of them. This movie looks awesome, it sounds great, but for the most part, the writing is terrible. I'm gonna get into this, but first, if you end up liking this video, thumbs it up. And if you don't like it, thumbs it down. Let's go.
I scream, I cry, for ice cream and for pie.
This film scores the most points on its sounds and looks. All the characters look alive and are clearly expressive. You can tell what they're feeling and clearly see their emotions. It looks nice, and all the settings and backgrounds look amazing. Just watch Geppetto put his hand in the dirt.
We were a king once. Can we be king twice? We were bathing in milk, played for diamonds and silk once. But we want it twice.
The voice actors do a great job, and I really like the songs. Sometimes they use songs to introduce characters, which I think grabs your attention and makes those moments impactful, and you can really remember them better. I like how they incorporated songs into the story like that. When I heard this guy, I instantly recognized his voice. Christoph Waltz does a great job.
What is that? What do you want in the middle of the... My beloved star. How can I be of assistance?
Someone else I thought did a great job was Ewan McGregor. He's the narrator and voice of the cricket. I was hoping he was going to sing this song right here, but Pinocchio cuts him off by smashing him with a door because he's a little prick.
My dear father.
I'm going to church, I'm going to church.
Overall, even though this movie has some problems, it looks and sounds so good that it makes it watchable. This movie's great until around 20 minutes. After that, the story goes to shit. It turns into a chicken running around with its head cut off. It doesn't know who it is, what it wants, or where it's going. So in the first 20 minutes, Geppetto's character is developed and I really enjoyed it. It's a different spin on the character, and I think it does a good job making him memorable and interesting. Then he makes Pinocchio, and that's when the story falls off a cliff.
But I don't want to. I want hot chocolate. Please, Papa. Please, 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 please.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
It's not clear if Pinocchio is good or bad. Apparently, he loves Geppetto, but when he's with him, he breaks his things, disobeys him, causes trouble, gets into serious debt, and then runs away. It would be better if he was just straight up bad. Then his character would make more sense. It would actually be more true to the book. In the book, he says he's bad, he does bad things, has to suffer the consequences, and then eventually learns from his mistakes and becomes good. Whereas in this film, he's good, but everywhere he goes, he causes chaos and never really suffers any consequences, just kind of works out in his favor. When he's with Count Volpe, he's treated pretty well. He's not whipped or put in a cage or anything like that. He just stops working because he finds out he's not making much money. Then after that, for some reason, he ends up in the military where he makes a friend, only to end up getting his friend's dad killed. This guy doesn't have a dad because of Pinocchio. That's messed up, man. Pinocchio doesn't really pay for any of the damage he has caused. There aren't any consequences that make him reflect on his actions. Eventually, he ends up acting good because Geppetto apologizes for being a bad parent for the first 24 hours. You can't blame Geppetto for Pinocchio's bad behavior. If that's the reason for him being bad, then there's no character progression or moral to the story. Pinocchio goes places and does things, but he just ends up the same as he was at the beginning. The story of Pinocchio is about a wooden boy who becomes a real boy. That's key. But in this film, he doesn't even become a real boy at the end. He just stays as a wooden boy. You can change everything else except the ending, and it would be fine. Geppetto could be named Terry, and he could live in Louisiana. As long as Terry makes a wooden boy, and it comes to life, and becomes a real boy, then that is the story of Pinocchio. They could even get swallowed by a giant catfish, and, like, that would actually be pretty sweet. Check out these photos I made with AI. I'm starting to think that Pinocchio in the Bayou could be a massive hit. Like, look at this one, man. Pinocchio looks like a psychopath. Like, look at his eyes, man. Okay, back to the story. Another instance of questionable creative decisions is that they make it so that Pinocchio can't die. I don't like it, and I think it makes it confusing. In the logic of this movie, if you are immortal, then you are not a real boy. But if you are mortal, then you are a real boy. Apparently, it doesn't matter if you're made out of wood. It's okay if you're flammable, as long as you die, then you are a real boy. The logic makes me feel stupid. They're trying to use this concept to create drama, but it doesn't work, and it's unnecessary. The fairy tells Pinocchio something like, it's a burden to live forever because everyone you'll ever know will die, which is a valid point. But then Pinocchio is just like, yeah, well, I don't want that burden anymore. And then the fairy is just like, alright, cool. And then he becomes mortal. Once again, terrible writing. And it's unnecessary. Pinocchio wouldn't have to be immortal in the first place if he just had a better storyline. Okay, I have to talk about the cricket in the room. The only good part about Sebastian the Cricket is the voice acting. Ewan McGregor does a great job, but the significance of the character is underwhelming and misplaced. The fairy that brings Pinocchio to life gives Sebastian the purpose to help Pinocchio be good. And if he does this, then he will be rewarded with a wish granted. Oddly, in this film, he fails as a guide and then actually admits it to the fairy. Pinocchio doesn't really listen to him either, and they don't spend much time together in the film. Sebastian actually encourages Pinocchio to lie so that his nose can act as a bridge, but it doesn't even work, so he just lies for no reason. The cricket ends up spending more time with Geppetto and tells him to be good. It's so dumb. That's not his purpose, and Geppetto is a grown man. He was gonna do the right thing anyway. The cricket is supposed to be helping the clueless wooden boy that's wandering the world, but instead he's with Geppetto. I give this movie a rating of 2 out of 4 stars. I know I'm making fun of it, but I don't hate this movie, and I do think it's good. This movie is just a very conflicting experience. It's entertaining and disappointing at the same time. It looks really good and sounds really good, but its biggest flaw is the writing. The ending is terrible, and the main character is shallow and underdeveloped. But he does sing really well, so I guess it's alright. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more movie reviews. See you later.